Okay, we're back at Hartland Bike Park for episode 6 of the route series. And as I've said on previous videos, I'm going to be accessing the higher trails by taking the same route as I normally do. So I'll still put nameplates up, but I won't spend much time actually filming those trails. Because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be accessing outside of the bike park onto the other side of Mount Work. So it'll take us a little bit to get to that location, and then we'll do some trails. And I have had some inquiries from people how to access those trails when I've done individual videos on them. So here we go, and we'll eventually get to the other side of Mount Work. So we started with Easy Rider. When I was doing the intro, that's what we were on. We're now on Skull Trail. We'll take Skull Trail to Inventive. So we're currently on Inventive, and we'll take Inventive until we intersect with Littleface. So we exited off of Inventive, and we're now currently entering a rock garden on Littleface. And then we enter the junction for a new Littleface trail, and we climb that until we intersect back to Littleface. So we had exited off of New Littleface Trail, and now we're on Littleface, and we're climbing up a little bit of a hill until we intersect with Wild Stallion. So we did a left onto Wild Stallion, which we're currently on, and we're going to take this until we get to the Rolly Ridge Connector Trail. So off of Wild Stallion onto Rolly Ridge Connector, all the way over to Rolly Ridge. So we do a little bit of a rock climb on the connector trail and intersect on the Rolly Ridge, and then we take that down to Diaphragm Connector. So we took a left off of Rolly Ridge onto Diaphragm Connector, and then we'll be taking this all the way to the junction, and then we'll go straight on to Middle Earth. Okay, we came off of Diaphragm Connector. Now we're entering Middle Earth, and we're going to be taking the entirety of Middle Earth all the way to Waterworks. Okay, so we're now exiting Middle Earth, entering Waterworks, and we'll take Waterworks until it intersects into the Waterworks Harem Scarem connector. Then we'll take that straight on until we get to twister. Okay, now we're just exiting off of Waterworks and going onto the connector trail. Morning. All right, and we're at the Waterworks Harem Scarem connector, and we do a left to start climbing up Twister. And so we're just going to pop out Twister at the end, and we'll actually be on phase 2 for just a little touch, and then we're going to take a left on Dirt Falls. Hi. Now we're on Dirt Falls. And I don't take the dirt chute descent out of Dirt Falls. I just do the blue trail off to the side, and I take it down until I intersect with Northridge. Then I do a left on Northridge. So we're now on Northridge. And we're quickly coming into the junction of where Jelly Roll, Lumpy Pants, and Bubble Wrap intersect. And what we're going to do is we're going to go up over the log and do the first portion of Bubble Wrap. So here we go, up and over the log. And so I believe technically we are now outside the bike park. Bubble Wrap is on Trail Forks, but I think it's a unsanctioned trail. I'm not sure, even though it's been around forever. But we're only going to do a portion of Bubble Wrap. We're just going to use it as an access to other trails. So we're just coming up to the junction for where Bubble Wrap meets the hiking trail for Mount Work. We do a left, and then we go up the hiking trail just a bit and do our first right. So we're at a junction now where you go left and you're on a bit of a service road. I'll put the name of it on the video, because we follow this for a little bit and then we do a left-hand turn. So we've been on this service road for probably 20 or 30 seconds, and we're going to do an upcoming left-hand turn and then follow this trail for a while. So we were on this sort of rolly single track for 2 or 3 minutes, and now we have come to the north end of Cache, or Cache, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. And it is a what I would call a single black all mountain trail, which is two-way. And it's definitely got some challenges. It's a little bit wet. The conditions are really good, but the roots are somewhat rooty or wet. So we'll try to do the best we can. That was the first little difficult spot. I got up that good. Now we go into a bit of a rock garden area, which isn't that difficult. It just gets kind of narrow and there's exposure on the right. So just control your speed. Very good. And then we go down a chute and then we have to do a bit of a climb up a rock slab. So we're just coming up to the rock slab. Let's see how it goes. Nice. Keep it going. Well done. Okay, we're still on cache, and we're coming up to another little technical spot where you have to try and get up onto a ledge. Sometimes accessible, sometimes not. I made it up, but I slipped on a root at the top. Too bad. Now we come to a bit of a climb, which isn't overly difficult. At the top of it, you got to get over a log. Then you got to do a secondary climb and then get through a little creek. So we'll see how it goes. We're just coming up to the log. Got that. Okay, and then this is the second climb, then the creek crossing. It's a very small creek. Good. All right, and we come to the end of cache, and then we do a left on the sort of double track. Again, if I'll put the banner, the name banner up for people that want to follow the trail. So as we climb up this trail, right now, Mon's trail is to my left, just for reference purposes. Mon's isn't on Trail Forks. Hopefully it will be at one point. Okay, we've made our way up the trail to where Legend starts. It's a climb for Legend. We're not going to actually do Legend at this point. We're going to do another trail, but we'd start off by doing the climb. We will be coming back to Legend though. Very good. So we're just approaching an intersection where if you turned left, you would stay on Legend. We are going to go right and do a short little trail called Hey Darryl, which has got some rock slabs on it. There's one just to my left, which is quite steep and somewhat over my head. So I don't do it because I'm far too chicken for that kind of stuff. But we will do and try and do the other stuff. So here we go. good. Definitely not the smoothest I've ever done this trail, but I'm being successful so far, so that's good. And then you have to go up on a little ledge, and then we'll be exiting the trail. And that is the end of Hey Darryl. And if you go straight on, it's a trail called It's For You. And it sort of goes down into the valley. I've only ever done it once. There's a couple features that are definitely over my head, so you're sort of in the middle of nowhere. I guess you could fall anywhere, but I choose not to do that, at least not at this point, by myself. And now we come to an intersection here. We're not going to do it today, but on my left here at the intersection is Swamp Ridge. And if you go right up there, you'll get to Ravens Ridge. We are still on the service road, and what we're going to do, okay, we just had to stop there. I had a mechanical, my chain came off, obviously coming down Hey Darryl. But what we do is, coming up, we have a bit of a climb. There'll be a climb starting off on the right, and then we'll be going back to the start of Legend again and doing the entirety of Legend. So there's a junction point here, and what you do is you take the climb to the right. So we're back to the start of Legend once again, and this time we're going to do that left, and we're going to take the entirety of Legend up the climb. Nice. Okay, we're just approaching that junction point again where I went right onto Hey Darryl. This time I'm going to do left on the Legend. I didn't show the climb over again. I made it, which was good, but you don't need to see it twice. We're still on Legend, and I should probably say that Legend's a black diamond all mountain trail, if I didn't say that already. And it's, when ridden north to south, it's more climbing than downhill for sure. So, and coming up right here, I'm just getting set up for what I call a triple step up. It's a rock step up. You could have turned earlier and just did a single, but we're going to try and do the triple. See how it goes. There's one. There's two. And three. All done. Obviously significantly harder when it's a little bit wet than it is dry. But still obviously quite doable. The next features that are coming up is a narrow little path that sort of, there's exposure on the right, so you just got to be careful not to fall to the right, or else it'll probably hurt. So we're just entering that spot in a second. Very good. And the next feature coming up is a rocky descent into a rock garden, and then a real tight corner to get out of it. Into the rock garden. And a tight corner. Good. Good. Very good. And if you want to make the first part of Legend significantly shorter, you can do a left right here. There's no signage or anything, but it cuts off a lot of this portion of the trail. So I call that bypass number 1. And there's sniffling. Okay, we're coming up to a junction point, and just to point out, I've probably ridden for probably 5, 6, 7 minutes since I last showed anything. Pretty easy single track. But on this junction, I go left. I call it bypass number 2. If you want to stay on the original trail, you go right, go for a little ways, and then there'll be a left-hand turn. I find this to be more, I wouldn't say more challenging, it's just different. It's quite technical riding. Up a snotty rock. Over a root. Very good. I oftentimes in the wet do not make that. So I call this part ticky-tacky technical, because you're climbing and you're going quite slow. Now we enter an area, there's a bit of a switchback, and then you do a rocky, dirty climb and just hope that you don't slip out. Nice and slow. Or at least for me, nice and slow. Nice. So lots of loose little rocks on this climb. So we just try and power up. Very good. That's pretty much it. Very good. And then you quickly come to a spot where you intersect with the bypass number 1. And you have a little bit of a down into a little dirt chute and then a tight left turn. Very nice. Then you go along a ridge, and then you eventually come to what I'll call the midway point of the trail. And then we do a left and intersect back onto the main trail from its climb. So we're quickly approaching, like I said earlier, what I'll call the midway point of the trail. It'll be a left-hand turn for me. We're going straight, but if you do a left, if you're riding north to south, it'll take you back to Mons Trail Cache, the beginning of Legend and stuff like that. But we're going to carry on traveling in a southerly direction and meet the new challenges that'll be coming up soon. So the next little challenging portion is to fire through a rock garden, and then you get into a dirt chute, and then you got to do a rocky climb. And I made that, which is a miracle, because it looks like it has been washed out a lot by the rains. And so now we're on the dirty, rocky climb. Very good. Okay, the next interesting feature is you do a little bit of a down, then you have a rocky climb, and then a right-hand turn into a rock garden. Here we go. Right-hand turn. composure, break a little bit, and up onto the rock. And I made it. I almost went off the ledge. That wouldn't have been pretty. Then we do the descent. So after we did that little descent from the rock garden, the next interesting feature we get is a bypass trail that goes off to the right here. If you go straight up, you will climb up to the summit trail, the hiking trail, which, unless you're the strongest biker in the world, you're probably never going to make. So someone was nice enough to put in a bypass trail here that goes off to the right, and it crosses the summit trail. Got the slip there, a little bit of down, and the north side that I'm on right now is fairly easy. The other side, the south side, is more of a challenging climb for sure. So we make our way to where it intersects with the summit trail. I just stopped for a second because I got a stick in my spokes. So you cross the summit trail and then you turn to the right and you start the climb. And you grunt your way through it. There's a couple of sharp turns and just do your best. So there's a sharp turn there, and the other one coming up is challenging. Nice work. So then you come and you go up a rock face towards the trail and do a hard right and then stay away from the trail. And then you try and fire up a dirt chute, do a right turn, and then a left turn, and then you go to the summit hiking trail. Very good. So once you did that climb, you turn left and you're back on Legend. You got a bit of a rock slab that you have to shoot up. Nice. And you got to go through a puddly section and shoot up a rooty section. There we go. And it flattens out, sort of. So we're still on Legend, and we're coming close to the end, and we're coming up to a challenging climb. It's actually a double climb. You have to climb up a dirt chute, and actually pry bar intersects with this climb. You get through that, and then you have to climb a rock to get up to the intersection of where Rampart is. So here we go. So that's the first part. Up onto the rock. Keep your composure. Very good. Into the little meadowy area where you intersect with Rampart. But we do a left and we stay on Legend. Good. Okay, now you get to the part of the trail where you gotta try and shoot up a wet, mossy kind of rock. Just sort of give it a good go. Very good. And then this portion, we're getting very close to the end, is a rock garden kind of area just before the end of the trail. And this used to be somewhat more difficult. Someone made it easier for sure. Very good. And then we are at the end of Legend, and we intersect into Huge Ribbon. So that went well. And then on Huge Ribbon, we're approaching the big rock roll. So, and it's still wet and stuff. So we'll still do our best. We'll just make sure that you give more front than back, and then just creep down. It's actually not bad. And then we're not going to go right, we're going to go to the top of it, where I stayed left at where I turned right last time. Then we're going to have to shoot up a rock garden. Here we go. Nice. And then from here we do a bit of a down, and then we intersect onto the dirt chute that I did on my previous video for Huge Ribbon. Just keep good control. Down the rock features. And then down the dirt chute. Very good. Alright, and that's the end of Huge Ribbon, and then we turn right on Northridge. And then we're going to take this all the way to where it intersects Fun Trail and Free Kisses. And then we're going to take Free Kisses. Alright, so we're just at the end of Northridge, and we're going to shoot up and enter into Free Kisses. So you go past the Fun Trail sign and then go straight up. Oh. How's it going? Good, thank you. Have fun. So Free Kisses is a black diamond, pretty much one-way trail. They feature some rock slabs. Quite fun. Not the longest trail, but still quite good. Here's the first rock slab. Stay right because it splits there. If you go left, it'll just take you to where Sofa King starts. We went right, and then there's a little off-camber rock roll. Good control. few dirt chutes. Very good. Whoops. And then you go over a big log, and then you have an optional coming up here of you can climb the rock or go to the other rock. I climb it. Up. Very good. And then there's a rock roll on the other side. And then it takes you down and intersects with Fun Trail. And that's it. Hike. Then we're going to do a left and we're going to go down bottom feeder. When you get to the end of bottom feeder, you go straight on the crossover. Right. Good. Then at the end of crossover, we do a left on the service road. And what we're going to do is we're going to make our way over to shock treatment. So you ride this portion of the service road, probably about 100 yards, and you do a right. Then you go another 100 yards and you do a left. Right-hand turn, and then left-hand turn. Then you do a left-hand turn under shock treatment. Okay, and then we're quickly coming to the end of this portion of shock treatment. And then we shoot across the road and continue in and take it all the way back to pretty much the staging area. Across the service road and in. All right, and then we pop out to the service road, take a right, and this will take us right back into the staging area. Very good. So that completes route number 6 of the route series. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you've stayed this long anyhow. If you have any questions or any suggestions for routes, let me know. And I will see you next time.